Hallo und willkommen. Ich bin Meister Lenz and you're watching Get Germanized PA Dutch. That's Pennsylvania Dutch.
I am bored. What should I do?
Ah, ich weiß.
Get Germanized.
Many years ago, I've been sent this brochure, Quaint Idioms and Expressions of the Pennsylvania Germans, by a subscriber named Deborah from England. She went to Pennsylvania and then picked up this brochure, which contains a lot of interesting, well, words that are fascinating to read through, to be honest, because they are very similar but yet different in comparison with normal German or to normal German. And so today we will go through some of these. I've made an older video way back about this and I said I will return and try out more, and this is basically the continuation of that. So if you haven't checked out the old video, it is linked in the video description. So let's start. So first of all, let's clarify what actually is Pennsylvania Dutch and why is it called Dutch and not Pennsylvania German, since Dutch is the language of the Netherlands, right? According to Wikipedia, the Pennsylvania Dutch are a cultural group formed by early German-speaking immigrants to Pennsylvania and their descendants. The word Dutch does not refer to the Dutch people or Dutch language, but to the German settlers known as Deutsche in Standard German and Deutsch in the principal dialect they spoke, Palatine German. Most immigrated to America from Germany or Switzerland in the 17th and 18th century. Over time, the various dialects spoken by these immigrants fused into a unique dialect of German known as Pennsylvania German or Pennsylvania Dutch, so it is sometimes called and referred to as Pennsylvania German, which is not as confusing as the counterpart Pennsylvania Dutch, which comes from Deutsch, the German word for German, and that's why it can be confusing sometimes. At one time, more than 1/3 of Pennsylvania's population spoke this language, so it makes sense that we're having another look at it. The brochure says the Pennsylvania Germans have a language of their own. The dialect spoken antedates the High German of Martin Luther's day and arrangement. It was the latter who gave the High German language definite standing in literature and in commerce. Even before Luther, the people of South Germany had a dialect which had been in local use for many generations. It was in the country bordering on the Rhine from Switzerland to Koblenz that the early immigrants originated, landing eventually in America. That these people should cling to the dialect is not strange. People of all or most races cling to their lore and customs, and while the Pennsylvania Germans use English with ease, they find themselves often reverting to their mother tongue. Interesting. So let's go through some vocabulary now, shall we? For example, it says here, it always gives example sentences as well. A person must be verfouled, rotten, to smell like that. Verfouled means verfault. It sounds very similar. Just basically, you just say the German word with an American accent, with very strong verfouled. Verfouled. It's verfouled, and that means rotten. Verfault. Super fascinating. Here's another one. It sounds very similar to its German counterpart. It's vergesslich. 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 It means forgetful. It comes from the German word vergesslich. So, vergesslich and vergesslich. The American counterpart actually sounds a lot harsher in this case. Vergesslich, vergesslich, vergesslich. Well, there we go. Here's another really fascinating one as well. Verricket. He was verricket. That's why the boys wanted to fool around with him so much. What? Okay, interesting example sentences. So he says he was verricket, that means deranged. That was why the boys wanted to fool around with him so much. He and the boys and deranged? Oh shit. When was this written? Long time ago, most likely. My apologies. But yeah, anyway, let's continue. Verricket or verrickt comes from verrückt, the German word for, well, deranged or crazy. Verrückt, verrickt, verricket. Huh. All of these make me smile so much. The bedclothes are so verrunzelt. Much disheveled, wrinkled must. The bedclothes are so verrunzelt. Verrunzelt comes from the German word verrunzelt. It also means wrinkly. That man's face was verrunzelt. Verrunzelt. Man, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. Here's another one. Verliked. 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 I think that's how you say it, at least. Because, I mean, if I was to pronounce it the German way, it would sound like this. Vielleicht. But that doesn't make any sense. It sounds actually more close to the German equivalent, to the German origin, when you say it in an American accent, which is really crazy. Verliked. Sounds like vielleicht. Verliked. Or verleicht. Verleicht. I'm not even sure if I'm doing it right, but it sounds right to me, since it sounds more close to the German equivalent, and that's what they were going for, I suppose. Vielleicht, perhaps. Vielleicht. Verleicht. Look at this one. Here, you little devil, don't try to verstekel yourself. Verstekel. That's interesting. They added basically, or they changed the ending of the word verstekel. Verstecken. Maybe it was too hard to pronounce the original. Verstecken. Verstecken. Which means to hide. Verstecken. Verstekel. Verstekel yourself. Hide yourself. Verstekel. Okay, here's another one. Verstickert. That actually doesn't sound anything like the German counterpart. Verstickt. Versticket. Means smothered. Oh, erstickt. Ah, okay. Smothered. Oh, that's that took a turn for the worse here, because the example sentences said versticket. That's what she's done with a poor little kid, with a kid. So she smothered the child. That's an example sentence in this. Verstickert. Erstickt would be the German word. She erstickt the child. Whoa, okay. And the next one is, she's a very good-looking Frau. Well, Frau, everyone knows this. Oh, but in this case, it actually means wife and not woman. It's interesting, because in German, we don't really have a word for, well, we do. It's Ehefrau. It means marriage woman. Ehefrau, but sometimes we also refer to our Ehefrau, to our wife, as our Frau, our woman, basically. Very possessive, I know, but that's just how we say it. And in this case here, they look at Frau and use it as wife as well, like the Germans do. I, he says here. Why? I means egg. Why did they just include that I? Such a big Freundschaft, relationship. Freundschaft is friendship in German, but they use it for relationship. Such a big Freundschaft. I mean, a friendship is a relationship of sorts, so maybe it means the same thing here. I'm not 100% sure, but again, fascinating. And last but not least, we got Geburt. I'm nearly Geburt. I'm so Geburt. It means exhausted or very tired. It comes from the German word kaputt. Oh, ich bin so kaputt. I'm so done. I'm so exhausted. I'm so, Geburt. Kaputt. Also can mean broken, of course, in German and in English as well. But Geburt comes more from the kaputt in the sense of, oh, I'm so tired, so exhausted in German. So this was just one of the pages of this over 30 pages long booklet. If you want me to present you more from it, let me know. I'll make another video. Also like the video so that I see that you enjoyed it and that you want a sequel to the sequel, basically. Subscribe if you found this entertaining, and welcome to the Germ fam if you are a new subscriber, if you are a new viewer. Always happy to have new blood in here. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.